Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about my portfolio, just give you an update on my current holdings and coins that I'm considering or looking at or things that I find interesting. And lastly, I want to talk about my thesis or my plan going into the bull run. And like always, nothing in my video is financial advice, so just want to let you guys know. So yeah, so let's get into the actual coins. And then in between the coins, I'm just gonna show you some threads or anything interesting that I found or any recent developments by the project, just in case you're not aware of it. But I'm not going to go too detailed into any specific project because, like I said, this video is just mainly to tell you my holdings. So let's get the actual holdings out the way. So if you guys just want the holdings, I'll just tell you right now. My significant holdings, obviously apart from BTC ETH, is Solana, Polygon, Arbitrum, Cosmos, and Thorchain. Thorchain has become a bit more significant because of the recent pump. So if you just want the coins, I respect your time. You might not want to watch the whole video. You might just want to know which coins I hold. Now you know. So yeah, so later in the video, I'm going to talk about my coins that I plan to get into or things that I find interesting. So before that, I just want to talk a bit about the price or anything interesting I find about the project. So Solana, as you can see, it's been getting bad. It's been moving from like $20 to $25. I just think it's a very good entry anywhere around here because the all-time high was $250. So even if it goes to $100, which is very reasonable, that's a 5x. A big market cap coin doing 5x is actually, it's actually very good. You can easily get 3x from ETH and BTC in the bull run. For Solana, I think will give you that extra return in terms of potential price potential. And then obviously, if it goes to all-time high, then you're looking at a clean 10x from here, which is a very fairly safe 10x, right? Not doing anything too risky. Anyway, so that's Solana. There's some interesting threads. I'll put these link in the description. There's one by JPEG. There's one. This one's quite cool by Komosabe. He talks about the recent partnerships and recent development. And lastly, there's an article by Blockmates. The stuff that they write is quite interesting anyway, Blockmates. So, and also I haven't obviously listed any of the obvious articles by like DeFi Digital Mosari because everyone already kind of knows about them. But if I find anything interesting in those, I'll also try to share them. But those are just a few I thought I'd share from my notions where I have a app where I save all these interesting things. So I thought I'd share a few things. Okay, next up we have Polygon. So Polygon was recently about $1. It was 110, 120, and then it went all the way to like 50 cents, and then recently it pumped to like 60 cents, and it's basically been fluctuating between 50, 60 cents. This is another big holding of mine. I think one of the CEOs or one of the main person in the company left recently. It's not really FUD or anything like that. I don't really think of it any bad news. It's just another hold for me, Polygon. And yeah, so they've also been doing some interesting stuff. Obviously, they've got a lot of partnerships and they're trying to migrate to the new tokenomics POL, which is going to be the new token. So yeah, so there's some interesting threads. I'll link these threads. They're in the RWA space, which is real world assets. And obviously, we know from before they have a lot of partnerships. And recently, they've done the partnership with Immutable. So Immutable is a juggernaut in the gaming space. I would say in one of the biggest names in the gaming space. So one of the larger market cap, safer plays. And Matic has Polygon has partnered with them. So I think that's great for both projects, especially in the gaming. This kind of solidifies both of the names in the gaming space. Next up, we have Arbitrum. So Arbitrum, I mainly have it because of the airdrop, but I'm not too keen on the project in terms of. I'm keen on the project. I'm just not too keen on the token because there's only about 12% of the token out. So the inflation is quite big. But in terms of the project, the reason why I haven't got rid of all of my tokens is because I actually like the project. In terms of layer 2, there's no doubt Arbitrum is one of the best projects. I mean, that's not even debatable. Even before the token came out, the numbers were huge, right? So Arbitrum, you can't flack it, right? There's only like good things to say about them. But in terms of the token, just not the biggest fan because, like I said, the inflation is just too big for my liking. There's like basically 90% of the tokens that aren't out yet. So that's about, the project, I like it. So recently they had the airdrop, the unclaimed airdrop tokens, they put it back into their treasury. So they boosted it by 57 million. So that's a lot of tokens that weren't claimed. So I think I did make a post on my Telegram to try to check your addresses if you didn't claim them. But yeah, anyway, so join my Telegram anyway, because I always share like timely things that I don't normally share in my video, because obviously not everything's worth making a video about. So there's that. And then Cosmos. So So before we get into that, let's go into Cosmos. So Cosmos is another big my holding. A lot of people don't understand the Cosmos thesis and why I like Cosmos. Maybe I'll do a separate video about that anyway. But just long story short, the reason why I like Cosmos is the technology is one of the best out there, and the team is also one of the best out there. So you got Sunny Agarwal. I forgot some of the names of the. They keep on fighting. Some of the CEOs of they have a bit of tension between them. I don't want to go into that too much, but in terms of technology, Cosmos is by far one of the best coins out there. Matter of fact, I remember seeing Zaki saying somewhere in one of the videos that someone in Cosmos actually convinced Vitalik on proof of stake. Vitalik actually wasn't a fan of proof of stake till someone in Cosmos actually convinced him. So anyway, like Cosmos has done a lot. Probably another video for another day. I know the token's been getting hammered and the inflation's quite high. They have a 20% APR on the staking, which is good if you're staking it, but if the coin keeps on going down, maybe not. But at this price, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, it recently was $10, and now it's like 6-7. It's hovering around 6-7. So, me personally, I probably accumulate more here. But yeah, in terms of the project, I can't follow it. In terms of fundamentals, the tokenomics do need a revamp. I'm not gonna lie about that. But in terms of the actual fundamentals, the project, what he's done, I think the only part about this project is the tokenomics, how it's gone about. So yeah, so that's Cosmos. And recently, one channel I'll recommend is Cryptocito. So if you're into like Cosmos and the whole Cosmos ecosystem, this guy's dedicated his whole channel to Cosmos and Cosmos related stuff. So I would highly recommend watching his videos. He's normally on top of all the Cosmos related things. So yeah, Cryptocito, shout out to that guy. And then there's hackathon happening right now, Istanbul hackathon tomorrow and the day after. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But just in general, we also have Celestia, which is a Cosmos related project, right? I think they're using Cosmos's Tendermint. I remember when I done my research, but I think they're using the same. I think they're using Cosmos's technology for the validation, etc. So yeah, they're launching soon. So they recently announced their airdrop, and obviously this is a huge project. So also, that's another thing that's Cosmos related that could give Cosmos more new eyes. And DYDX also launching their testnet, etc. They're also getting ready to launch, and they've said that they're gonna make. So they initially was on Ethereum, then they started using Starkware's technology. I think they had like one of the Starkware's enterprise solution, and then now they moved to DYDX, and they've been. I believe when they launch, it's going to be a big boost for Cosmos because themselves can have like $1 billion of trading volume or accumulated USDC, right? So that's just another big thing for Cosmos. Lastly, we have Thorchain. So Thorchain has been on a run recently. I think it went from like $150 to $2, $220, something like that. And yeah, so Thorchain, I've liked it for a while. I did reduce my allocation a while ago because obviously the competition, etc. I mentioned it in one of my previous videos. But I do have a stack, and because of the recent pump, it's going bigger. So yeah, Thorchain is a good one. They recently launched streaming swaps, which is basically a feature that allows bigger traders, large people, large amount of tokens to basically swap gradually to reduce the price impact. And they also released Metamask, what's it called? Metamask Snaps. I think it was called Metamask Snaps. I done a whole video on this actually because they've partnered. So Metamask, Thorchain, and Shapeswift. They haven't partnered, but you could say they use each other's technology to allow people to use the chain's Thorshwap supports to trade and basically use. So Metamask now supports Bitcoin and the other chains that Thorchain uses, like Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin, Cosmos, etc. Now you can use Metamask with those blockchains because of Thorchain's technology. And Shapeshift have basically done the collaboration, etc. They've made the actual snap. So that's actually very cool. I'll leave the link in the description if you want to know more about that. But that effectively allows you to use all these chains that once previously supported by Metamask now are supported with Metamask. So those are my big holdings. One of my smaller holdings I might mention is Dogechain. I've also got my Dogechain that I had before. It's basically negligible amounts now in terms of portfolio size and percentages. So those are my coins. Obviously, I'm not going to mention my BTC, if that should go without saying at this point. So next thing, I do want to talk about the coins that I'm looking at, or what I think is interesting going into the bull run, or what I think I might actually buy but I haven't bought yet. So first coin is Uniswap. Uniswap, the reason why a lot of my coins are big cap in the first place is because I kind of risk off now. If you guys know me or if you watched my previous videos, I might have mentioned that I've done the risky stuff. I've been in crypto for 8 years. I've done ICOs, I've done the 100x's, I've done the crazy numbers. Once you do these kind of things, you want to kind of go risk off. You want to just you want to preserve what you've made, and hence why now I mainly play with big caps. But if I want, I can play with smaller caps. I still have the knowledge, I still have the skill. I still actually keep in touch with all of those smaller projects or ways that I can do those. Or maybe I'll start doing videos about them. But anyway, so I believe in this bull run, most bull runs and most big moves happen by the whales and the big players. Now you are going to see the small coins do crazy numbers. There's always going to be those projects that do the 50x, 100x. But if institutions are coming, they're mainly going to buy the big caps. So you can safely make 5-10x on a lot of the big caps, I believe, if you position yourself right. So even if you have a 10 grand portfolio, that's 100 grand. If you've got a 50 grand portfolio and you play it right, you can safely do a 10x, without doing too much risk, right? So the reason why I like Uni is because Uniswap is the project that is like a DEX for the whole of crypto. Now I know it's only supports certain chains, etc., but it's got like this amount where it's got like this unique feature of adding more, preserving the liquidity and adding more chains. I see it is like the liquidity might slowly get sucked out of other places and come into Uniswap. And the thing is, right now the token's only used for governance, and you can't really there's no fee sharing fee with the people that are staking it, etc. So if there was that option where they can share fee with the holders, then I believe Uniswap can go crazy because the volume is doing. Well, it's basically the DEX that does the most volume, right? So all they need to do is add other chains, share some fee, some of that stake, share some rewards for the holders, and I think it can go crazy. Even without that, I think it would do very good because of just the project is and the caliber of the project and etc. But in terms of the tokenomics, I haven't looked at it too much. I'm just talking about fundamental point of view, and hence why I haven't bought it, because I haven't looked too much at the tokenomics. So that's Uni. Link. So Link is obviously a very high caliber project. It's been out for many years and they've done great stuff. Swift, all the names you guys know. The CCP IP news was very interesting recently, but also with Link, it's just the tokenomics that I haven't got myself over. I don't know if the tokenomics are very good, and also I want to see more usage in the Link token. Now, I know they have a lot of partnerships, etc., but I want to see the fee in Link tokens increase. Like with blockchains, with layer one blockchains, the thesis is very easy because, like, if they're using the blockchain, they have to pay fees in that blockchain, and so there's a usage, right? With Link, I need to see more of that to convince me. But in terms of like fundamentals, etc., yes, Link is no brainer. Institutions definitely would have that in their portfolio. Next one is Stride. So Stride is basically a liquid staking protocol. They started off on Cosmos and now I think they support other chains, etc. Their fully diluted market cap's around 80 million, 75 million, and that's a fully diluted market cap. So I've actually used the product. I stake some of my Cosmos with them, and their UI, UX, the team, the caliber, everything is very good. As you can see here, the fully diluted market cap is 70 million, right? And so for a project this caliber, I actually think it might be a bit undervalued. So if it goes to around 50 million, I'm definitely accumulating some. And yeah, it's even gone to like a $2, I believe, not too long ago. So it went all the way to $2. But I just think in terms of the project, I think it's not I think it's like slightly undervalued compared to other projects on the market, right? So that's another one. Then you have Casp and Zero. So these are projects that a lot of the similar people been shilling on Twitter, etc. So let's start with Casp. So I mentioned in my previous video that I actually like Casper, etc. I was actually thinking of buying it. Then it done a huge run up, so then a lot of the returns diminished. I do believe it can go up, but my issue with Cas is I don't get the thesis. Like, for example, people are saying it's a better BTC. Okay, fair enough. Let's say it's a better BTC. Apparently, the CEO or something was mentioned in their white paper, etc. What I don't understand is if, like, as long as Bitcoin's still there doesn't need to be a substitute. Like, no one's going to use Casper if Bitcoin's still there. Yeah, it might be cheaper, but the distribution's not there for Casper, right? They haven't got the integration, all these things. Now, obviously, that can gradually happen. So that's one thing. The other thing is, as like if you let's say for example something happens to Bitcoin, right, and people need a substitute, well, everyone's just gonna, as I know, everyone's just gonna use Ethereum because that's the most next decentralized coin. Yeah, it's not proof of work, but when it comes to usage, people don't care about all these things, right? The decentralization matters more in money than all these other things anyway. So like I don't really see people using cash as a substitute for Bitcoin. And you can say like, the maxis will maybe, like the only people that are not using Ethereum are going to be the maxis. But their maxis, they're not going to use Casper either. They're not going to use any coin, right? The Bitcoin maxis, they're just going to use either Bitcoin or like probably fiat currencies, which is worse. But I don't know. That's a whole subject altogether. But they're not using Casper. I can bet you that, right? And so I don't really get the thesis for Casper. So, but yeah, like if enough people believe in it, it will pump, and it has been pumping, right? But in terms of the fundamental, the thesis, I'm not sold on it yet. So this is a project by, it's basically a DeFi project on top of Cosmos by Zaki. And I don't know too much about the project. I don't know about the tokenization. The only thing I know is Zaki's like the main head of this project, and he's an extremely smart guy. Like Zaki has been smart about many things. Like I can do a total video about that altogether. I love that. I follow his stuff a lot. He's one of the smartest guy in crypto, I would say, hands down. And because this is his project, like Sunny's project is Osmo, and Osmo has done very well. And so I'm just thinking some could do very well as well because of just who's running it. So I'll see. I'm not 100%. I haven't made my opinion on like I haven't made my opinion if I'm gonna definitely buy these. Obviously, I'll try to update you guys with another video if I've made any changes. But yeah, so those are the points I'm considering now. Lastly, going into the bull run, what my plan is. So my plan is to just keep my portfolio how it is. I do buy and sell little bits if any of my coins, basically rebalance my portfolio. I don't want to buy a coin on every sector because then you're gonna end up with like 50 different coins. So what I rather do is when a narrative starts, I buy a few coins in that narrative and then sell it within the narrative, because narratives don't last long. They last like 1 week. They get shorter and shorter, right? 1 week, 5 days, 2 weeks maybe, right? And so I rather buy the coins according to the narrative rather than just buying it beforehand for the sake of it. And then if you guys see anything interesting coins or anything that you guys really like that you want me to check out, then let me know in my Telegram chat, or you can even post it in the comments. But yeah, guys, hope you got some value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.